Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Échale Ganas Talks, a podcast where real life meets real talks. Today, we have a special guest. I am so happy to have my first guest here on my podcast. This is Abel. So if you guys watched my very first episode, you guys remember or probably remember me talking about one of our friends that, long ago before this, he brought this idea to me, or he saw something in me. He had talked about that I would be a good host, something along those lines. And here we are today. Like he's on my podcast after he said this to me. So this is really special for me. So do you like to introduce yourself, Abel, for those of you that don't know you?
Well, hello everyone. My name is Abel Nuñez, 42, and I'm regular dude, man. Play music, work, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, man, and above everything else, I'm a God-fearing man.
He is not just a regular dude. He's a super cool dude. He's a close family friend. So he plays music with my husband. That is actually how I met him, is because estaban tocando en un grupo, and the very first time that I met him, I remember it was my mom's 50th birthday party, and I almost dropped your iPad, remember? So I remember we just clicked, like even conversation wise, you're just such an easy person to get along with. But I wanted to have you on here today because I feel like you might have some words or encouragement to somebody out here, listening to. Would you like to talk about a little bit of your upbringing and?
Sure. I was born in Salinas, California, the salad bowl of this great country of ours. I'm the third of four sons. So no sisters.
No sisters.
All brothers.
Oh my gosh.
So ya te imaginas,
yeah.
my mom.
Your poor mom.
Pobrecita.
Yeah.
Man, typical Mexican family. Went to church, grew up doing that. Early on, my dad played pro soccer. So sports has always been one of those like a mainstay in the family. All my brothers and I were all pretty, at one point or another, we were pretty athletic. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward a little bit, and music kind of got a hold of me, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's funny because I said this in a talk that I gave, that I can remember, obviously not the date and time and thing like that, but like the moment in which it was like, I'm going to do that. And I was watching the movie La Bamba, mm-hmm. and something about just watching Lou Diamond Phillips play Richie Valens, just the whole, I remember I had the soundtrack and everything, and this is back when we had cassettes.
Yeah.
And I think I probably went through like 3 or 4 cassettes just from rewinding it and playing it. So, but that was algo que me trajo, like a lot. And it wasn't like a typical phase with kids, right? Like where they get into something and then like 2 minutes later,
They're
and then you as a parent are start paying for all this stuff.
Yeah.
So my mom and dad never really I don't want to say they didn't support me in it, but they never picked up on it. It was like, okay, we're going to see. And then it was like, at church there was people that played. Oddly enough, because my dad always played soccer, there was always músicos at the house. And back then I didn't really put it together, mm-hmm. right? I was like, okay, this dude is playing soccer. Why are these guys here?
Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't like a bad thing. It was just family outings and things like that, and convivios, and they would come out and they would always be there. And the typical kid is curious, and Manny, your husband can attest to this, right? When we're at gigs and stuff, where kids are messing around with the drums, or they're trying to grab the microphones and things like that.
My kids have done that.
Yeah. So, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, that caso, like you're gonna break it, and then we got to pay for it, kind of thing. So it wasn't until 5th grade where I actually got an opportunity with the elementary school that I was at, where they started a music program, and lo and behold, You know, when they say God provides, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pay nothing.
Wow.
Like, they rent you they check you out an instrument, and your responsibility was to bring it back in the same shape that you got it.
So you got it.
Right, and that was like the first like inkling of any kind of music, anything. So I started playing the trumpet when I was in 5th grade.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. I thought it's been accordion. Like that's Abel and accordion are just like match made.
Yeah.
So that's new to me.
Yeah, no. So played that for like 3 years, and in that span, I swapped over to the French horn for like a semester or whatever. Didn't take to that too much, only because the fingering isn't with the right hand, it's with the left hand. Am I bumping the thing? Yeah. Well, the fingering is with the left hand versus the right hand as it is with the trumpet. So it just, I don't know. No se me daba, right? But it's kind of similar. But at the end of it, I had a hiatus in music. We moved to a different town, which was typical back in the day, especially, like I said, growing up in the Central Valley, like you kind of chase the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And we moved from one town to the next, and ended up in a town where there was no music. So it was just trying to like bugging the principals and things like that. So they finally got something going. My 8th grade year, which I was only there for like the first half of it, and then we moved again. But yeah. So anyway, long story short, my music journey started when I was in 5th grade.
Wow. And that's been a long time, and obviously, you know, everybody that knows you knows that you're you're a great musician, you're a great accordion player, and I feel like a lot of people have so much to learn from you, and I think that's a gift that you have. I think that's a gift that God's given you, you know, because obviously I feel like a lot of us we don't discover it until we're old. Some people never discover. They live their life and they're like, I don't even know what I'm good at. But some of us are just, you know, like obviously you perfect example is that you just know since you're little, you know. And then you also do boxing, right? You had a whole boxing career or coaching?
Coaching, yeah. I had minimal fights, right? Nothing worth even talking about, right? But my coaching definitely, my accolades came from the coaching side for sure.
And how was that? Did you have support? Was that difficult growing up, or?
So I didn't start getting into boxing, like actually learning it or whatever, till I was already like 19 or something. No, actually, maybe even a little bit older. But in an area rug about the size of what you got right here.
Yeah.
In my buddy's garage, who his name is Juan Cruz. Juan Cruz actually, he was a storied amateur, represented the U.S. and the national team, fought in the Olympic festivals, and kind of like on the amateur level at that time, like he was definitely world class. And so he's rubbed elbows with a lot of people, and it just so happened that me and him, it's kind of funny, man, because like we used to play soccer together, and he's a big guy, right? He's probably like 6'2", but tachonchillo, you know what I mean? He's a bigger guy. But, so we just never ¿cómo te diré? Like, no nos caíamos, you know? And he always would talk smack to me. Yo también se la regresaba, like, no me dejaba. And then I would be like, hey, bro, show me how to box. And he'd just be like, nah, you're too soft. You're too soft.
What?
And then it was weird. You know, he ended up having a stroke early on. And that kind of changed things with him. Like, he had, after that, like, he had his come to Jesus moment, you know what I mean? And so he gave his life to Christ, and things changed for him. And in that change, like, I just happened to be doing some oddball job that I hit him up about, like trying to sell him something. And I noticed that the response wasn't the same anymore.
The way he talked.
Yeah, for sure.
It changes, right?
So,
it does
so
change.
at least the way that he was getting at me, right? Because like I said, we didn't have like the greatest of friendships, right? We were cool, but we weren't like the super coolest, you know what I mean? So he just happened to be taking ¿cómo se llama? Doing a private session at a gym, and he goes, hey man, you want to come? I was like, yeah. So I watched him, and he was hitting the speed bag, and I was like, dude, that's sick. You know, like I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and how old were you around this time?
I would say I was easily like 20.
Okay, so
Yeah, 19 going
starting
on 20.
life.
Yeah. So, and we were in his bedroom was in the garage, and like I said, he had a little small area rug, and okay, this is how you stand up, así te paras, así tiras y jab, you know, blah blah blah. And we learned there, and then we were training like a lot, and I was losing weight. He was kind of getting into it too, and ultimately one day, and again, like I said, having an athletic background, like you know, things can come a little bit easier to certain people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So on this particular day, I was kind of firing on. From what I can remember, right, I was firing on all cylinders. I was snapping my punches really good. I was being fast, hard, everything. And then all of a sudden, like, he was like, all right, you hold for me. And I was like,
are you sure?
Like, I don't even know what to do with it. Like, how do you even put these on, right? So
yeah.
He's like, I'm going to show you. And then it's like, okay, grab the mitts. And then, okay, you can do like this. Y esto que el otro. So he goes, I'm going to call the combos for you. And then
just do it, yeah.
So I started getting it. And then he would legit, like, give me, like, videos to watch.
Really?
Like, hey, break this fight down for me. And then it just... it turned me into be like having the knack to study, right? Like I applied it to that, and then I was able to see like, oh yeah, this fighter did this, blah blah blah. So al final de cuentas, it was one of those things where the persistence of like wanting to train and wanting to do, learn the things, right?
Yeah,
same thing with like music. It was like de terco, you know, me aferré, and then. Right away, like I started coaching at a gym, like volunteer coaching, working with like small kids in their city and whatnot, and that came with some how do you call it, with some adversity within itself, right? Like
in what way?
In the sense of like, because I didn't have a background in terms of like fights or anything like that. They looked at me like,
you're gonna train my kid?
Well, it was not so much the parents, but it was like the gym owner.
Okay.
Right? Like, oh no, like, and again, I was showing up every day, and I would just follow him around, and I'd just sit there, and it just so happened that I worked in downtown at the time in San Diego, and the gym was not too far from there. So every day after work, iba para allá, I would show up, until finally one day he's like, you just don't give up, do you?
And he saw that you were persistent. He knew like, okay, this kid's not giving up. There's something like he wants, he's doing it, and I think that's huge, because if you want something, you need to, don't give up. Yeah. Keep going.
You have to.
Échale ganas.
You have to. Échale ganas siempre. Oh, and it's true. It's very true. Because you can't do anything like halfway.
No. We tell our kids that all the time. Like, if you're going to do something, you need to commit, and maybe you'll try it and not like it. That could be a possibility too, but you won't know unless you go for it.
Yeah. I mean, and Manny can attest to this, right? Because he skated.
Yeah.
Right. So he knows if he was going to learn to do, let's say, a kickflip, like he had to commit to.
You have to.
Getting that board up, actually getting it to flip, and then committing it to landing.
As well.
And then that's just like standing still.
Yeah.
He probably learned it on the grass at first, and then I was like, all right, dude, let me.
he ate it a few times before, plenty of times, and then they got it.
So it like I said, it came with some
trials.
Some trials for sure, and just resistance. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest thing. But I didn't let it deter me. Like I was like, I just stayed with it. Same thing what I did with music. Like, even though, hey, esto para allá, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna break that, whatever. It was always there, and it was always something that I don't want to say that I manifested, because it wasn't that. It was more so just. I was vocal about it, and I would always, as soon as it popped up,
you spoke truth to it.
So eventually things panned out for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And did you have your parents' support like through all this? Did you have a support system to back you up?
No, yeah. So going back to the music thing, right? Like my dad, like obviously having friends and everything like that. My oldest brother Juan, he on a whim decides. I want to learn how to play the drums, which most boys want to learn to play the drums. Right?
I don't know what it is about the drums that all boys want to learn to play it. Like my brothers too at home, like they all had a drum set. Like I feel like our nephews and in our family, the boys just want to learn to play the drums. I don't know what it is.
Es hacer ruido. You know what I'm saying? Which
It's a
boys
boy
are gay.
thing.
It's a boy
thing. Yeah.
It definitely is, right? Which is funny because you have all girls. And
Yes,
I've been on the phone with Manny, and it gets rowdy here too.
My
so.
girls are. Those girls are crazy. He doesn't need a boy. He has the 3 girls. He does everything with them. That's
So it was just my brother grabbed the things, and back then I'm sure they still do it now, but he had to get like a little practice pad. He was like practicing rudiments, and my dad was like, no, mira lo que vino a agarrar, like mendigos palos estos, esto, el otro, and he should have got the
He's
guitar.
like, you couldn't do better?
Yeah, like something, always. And that's, again, that's a typical, like, Hispanic thing.
They always have something to say, always have something negative to say. It's just, it is the truth.
Yeah, it's not until you're, like, all the way deep, and if you're actually, like, doing it, then they'll be like,
oh, okay. sí sirve para esto, or whatever, you know?
So, así pasa, you know what I mean? And this was exactly that. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. My brother Damien picked up the trumpet for a very short stint. So I'm like, all right, I never heard my dad say anything about him doing it. So I'm like, I'll get that.
I'm going to try.
And then there was somebody from church, one of our friends there, that played, and he was in the high school at the time. I would hang out with him, and he would show me some stuff. But then it was like I was obsessed with it. So I'd be everywhere, like all the time practicing, this, that, and the third. I'd be like in the bathroom, using the bathroom, playing my trumpet, man. My dad said, no, hombre, esa mendiga trompeta, que esto, que el otro, que, ¿por qué no agarraste esto? You know what I mean? And it was always something. But I got decent at it, you know what I mean? Like, at least from what I was playing. And a thing that I've always had from early on was to always look towards somebody who's better, right? So that I can kind of like, all right, let me hang on to you a little bit and ask questions and things like that. So
because you want to get better.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped me, but that mentality always it was just something that just came. I don't know what you even call that, but I did it as a kid, like learning to play sports and whatnot, and music was the same thing, and same thing with the boxing thing. It just kind of was what it was. You know what I mean?
So they never were like, no, you shouldn't be focusing on that. You should focus more on this, or they wanted something more from you than what you were doing. Like, did they have different expectations? Your parents?
I think my when we were younger, like I got scouted to play soccer, and my dad, like, he was kind of torn, right? Like, he wanted me to play, and I would have. I mean, they came to the house and all those kind of things, right?
But it wasn't.
But my mom was like, nope.
That's not him.
Nope. Like, that's not right. It's like a lot, and the typical stuff, right? Like, I'm like, okay, and I was upset, right? Like anybody would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got people coming offering to pay everything for you, just so that you could be on their team, you know what I mean? So I got that. And this was early on. This is like I was really young. With the music thing, not so much, right? Not so much. The biggest thing was like, wow, well, we don't want you playing at the high school games and this kind of thing. But I was in the marching band anyway. Yeah. And I was too young at that point anyway, so it didn't even matter. But it was just the typical, like, you gotta have hands in everything, right? Yeah. You have to have some sort of control there, if you want to call it that. But ultimately, like I said, I had to stay persistent in wanting to
get better.
Exactly. To continue to play, even when there wasn't like a program at a school, I was so persistent to the point that they got a program there.
Wow.
And it just so happened to be that like I said, it was I was only there for a semester by that point. But I mean, it was a crappy program, but they got a program.
But it's still something, and that's something that you can say, like, oh, because of me, like this
let me
happened,
tell you, that wasn't a good thing either, dude. Because it was a bad program. Like, they had this Asian lady. Her name was Mrs. Chang, and heavy accent, right? Like, and then again, your kids, right? So we would be joking and.
Oh, you guys! I could only imagine the things that you guys would say about this teacher. I could just imagine, because I hear you guys I would hear you guys at the gigs, y como siempre decíamos, ni una se les pasa a ustedes, ya me imagino back then, especially as
It was bad.
young
It was
kid
bad,
or whatever.
I mean, it was never like. ¿Cómo
Which
te
at the
diré?
end of the day is you're being kids.
Yeah.
You're just being kids.
I mean,
You're being
yeah, but
kids.
you knew better though. You
Well,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
everybody, yeah.
You knew better, but it was just, te dejabas también llevar because somebody would start it y ahí vas de colado. But the program just wasn't like they were trying to do everything, like choir and for her to do that and just kind of start it from nothing, like you're gonna teach people how to do this, like it was very hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kids didn't like it, because there was the whole thing that they didn't want to do it. They were forced to do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, this isn't elected. Like, no, this is a part of what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't care. I don't matter who. So when they did their first showcase, like everybody had to play. Like there was nada. Like you were doing it, and that's it. So people weren't happy about that.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, I'm out of here, guys. So you guys stick with it.
For you saying like you grew up in the church, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much were you consistent with that through your whole life? Like
I was
were
consistent
you
through
there
that.
even with like, music and fighting and all the stuff you were doing? Were you consistent with the church? Or I wouldn't even say the church, I'd say your walk with Christ, because obviously the church, we go, but sometimes we go because our parents obligate us or because it's part of a Sunday routine, levantarnos, ir a la iglesia,
Right,
whatever
right.
it is. Pero throughout all of this in your lifespan, was it always like where you're at right now?
I was active for sure. I was very active in the church, consistently, right? And that's even from moving to different cities and this type of thing, going to different congregations and serving there. Because my dad did it. It wasn't so much that because my dad did it, I did it. It was just,
which is really good.
it was just something that you learn what you learn from your parents, and my mom, like, give you an example, like when my mom taught me to read Spanish, she taught me con la Biblia. So like,
Really?
it was hard. It wasn't easy to
y las
to read.
palabras en la Biblia when they're in Spanish, they're
not like
normal
easy.
Spanish that we talk. It's
Plus, like the grammar and like
Sí,
los acentos aquí,
diferente,
esto que el otro,
yeah.
so it's tough. And then giving talks at the
church.
at the church and everything. So it was like I was active in it, but like a typical adolescent, right? Like you're half stepping, like
Sí.
you're messing around
Yeah.
and you're doing stuff, but you're still there, and all the way up until like I'd say like 2006, and by that time I was already kind of getting into some trouble, and I started kind of like messing around too much, like, and then it led me to be like, okay, like, kind of got kicked out, kind of thing, and it'd been out, man, almost close to 20 years.
Wow.
And then it just so happened that my brother-in-law, they all go to church and everything, Christians and whatnot, and we would have discussions and like conversations about just church and different beliefs and things like that. So he always kind of was like, I tell him, I go, bro, you were like my IV. I go, because I wouldn't talk about that kind of stuff with anybody. It was just.
And it's crazy because that, like,
Yeah.
as a believer, like, you don't just talk about it. Ooh, my mic. You should, but sometimes there's certain people that you can connect with more, maybe because you feel like they understand you and they get you. That I think that.
Yeah, and I think too, because like my upbringing wasn't like your typical like Catholic or something like that. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
right?
that's so different.
So that's a very different thing.
Very strict, right?
Very much. So when I would have conversations or when I would get asked questions, like he never took it or he never approached me like trying to get into do battle with me, right? Others,
he just hear you out.
He'd just be like, "Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
What about this?" And then and I would ask him, and we would have like super long conversations, and it all stemmed from they had like they own a garage door business, right? My wife works for them and whatnot. My wife is his wife's sister.
Okay.
Okay, so they did their end of the year party one particular year, and because I was with Krista, she's like, I was her plus one, right?
Sí.
So we go to this spot, and I had met them at the gym already where I was working at the time, and as as everybody's already done eating, they brought out some games and whatever, and then in one of those was a Bible trivia game. So again, I'm not saying anything. So as the game starts, I'm answering questions, right? And I'm like,
I know this. I know this.
And then there was times that they didn't even finish the question yet,
Yes,
and I was already answering. So the more I would answer, I would see his reaction. He was like smiling, like, dude, that's crazy, bro.
Like how do you know all
yeah.
this?
And I think the only one, I don't remember what the question was, right? But I didn't answer. I answered all of them but one question, right? So after that, I was like, dang, bro, like, it's like a lot, you know what I mean? So it was like the peak interest or whatever. I happened to walk into a Bible study that they were having one day at their house. So I sat down, and I'm just thinking that they're conversating. I'm not thinking anything of it, because it wasn't
probably what you were used to as a Bible study,
for sure.
like your typical what you thought was a Bible study looked like.
Yeah, definitely did not meet the description. So I'm saying what's up. I'm dapping everybody up, like,
hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? What's like, oh, okay, and so I sat down because everybody's kind of looking at me, right? But I'm going through like everybody's in the house, so I'm sitting down and I start listening. And I'm like, oh, then me cayó el 20. Okay,
they're having a
they're
Bible
actually
study.
having the thing. So I'm sitting down, and I forget what the topic was, but everybody's commenting, so I kind of gave insight or whatever, and again, the smile, the same smile that he gave me when we were doing the trivia game, was the same smile that he gave me when I was talking.
And it's probably the smile. He saw something in you. He did.
So, like I said, he was my IV, because he would always manage to be like, hey, bro, come to church with me one day.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
And, hey, come to church with me one day. Oh, I'm straight, man, I'm good. I think I went one time with them, and we sat right in front of him, right? So I remember he grabbed me by my shoulders, and me dio una sangoloteada real quick, and he was
so
like,
happy.
Yeah, he was happy that we were there, and then that was it, like nada, and it was like years. But again, because I worked for them at the time, like it was just like continued conversations, right? So that was like the IV trickle that I alluded to, right? And it's not that I lost my beliefs or anything like that. It was just I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't living that life. Not that I was being bad and like doing drugs or anything like that. But I just wasn't doing that,
But those whole 20 years that you were like that, you knew your faith was still there. You still believed.
Yeah. Like I never lost like my belief or my faith in God. Like I you know what I mean? Like that was always like I was well aware. I never like shunned it or anything like that, nor did I ever deny it or anything like that. It was just.
Did you ever become like doubtful?
No, I wouldn't say doubtful. No, it was. I think when the enemy gets you, man, like it's. Te sabe por dónde agarrar.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna know
absolutely.
where he's.
And I ask you that because for me, like when I kind of stepped away for many years, it was a lot of doubt. It was a lot of questions. It was a lot of.
What kind of doubt?
Like, am I good enough to come back? Like, am I still worthy of him? Am I still worthy of his grace? Am I still worthy of forgiveness?
Right.
And same thing, I wasn't out doing all these crazy drugs or anything, but I just wasn't living a life like that would be aligned to what he said. So I always felt like I can't really go back until I get myself straight again, which is what I thought. And that's where I was like doubting his love towards me, or how he saw me. Like, am I still worthy enough to to even go to church, for that matter, or to,
If you don't mind my asking, what was the straw that broke the camel's back, where it was like, okay, that made you stop going?
If I'm going to be completely honest, it was looking for a partner, for a relationship. That I focused too much on wanting a family, that I...
Was this before or after Eileen?
This was after Eileen.
Okay.
I already had Eileen, and I think that was the biggest thing for me. It was like, I need to find somebody because I don't want to be alone.
Right.
And that's truthfully and 100% transparent answer.
Did you feel like? I don't mean to grill you, dude.
No,
like,
you're
just,
not.
Just,
This is what this is, and this is the thing about my podcast, and the reason is that I'm not gonna pretend to be or to sugarcoat anything, because I know there's somebody out there that's gonna relate to what we're talking about. Either something you've been through, something I've been through, something that the next person I talk, because it's real. You
Right.
know, this isn't like, oh, I'm afraid to speak about it, but it's stuff that needs to be spoken of because I'm sure somebody else can relate.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. Did you feel guilt? Like, I had a kid out of wedlock. I'm not married. Like, I'm young. Was that something? Would you say that contributed to you like stepping away from your faith?
No, it wasn't even that, because to be honest, like, I didn't even think about it like that.
Okay.
Like so I grew up in a Catholic church.
Okay.
So my whole thing of, you know, even having sex before being married, like, yeah, it's talked about as it's bad, but it was never like a spiritual reason behind it. It was just like, you shouldn't be doing that. And
Right,
obviously
right.
at my age and being 15 years old, like, that is nothing a 15-year-old should even be doing for that matter of, you know, no 15-year-old. Me having 3 girls, like, that's been a big thing in us, and the things that Eileen at least, that we teach our kids. But no, like, I never thought about it being at a marriage, none of that. It was more, to me, it was more of, I'm the failure in my house. I'm the one that failed in this house, because I was the first one to have a kid, even before my older brothers, and there's 4 of us. And just feeling like in my house, like, I was a failure and I was a burden. That's how I felt. And now I have this little baby who they have to help me take care of,
Right,
because
so
that's where we were.
amplifies it, yeah.
So it was kind of that of, so it's been a long time. It's been a lot of years to be where I'm at right now. It's been a lot of praying, a lot of disappointments, a lot of tears. But I felt like my relationship and my household needed change. And there's no other way but God. And I have seen his hand, and I have seen his mercy, and I have seen him in my home since I decided that I needed to change. Nobody else in my house, you know, my husband, my kids, my home, everything. I wanted to have everything a certain way, but it's like I wasn't doing anything to contribute to that, you know. And when I saw it almost like slip out, I was so afraid that I was like I have no other, God, like, this is it. I have no other solution, I guess you could say. I have no other solution but you, and show me that you haven't left me like all these years. Because the thing is, I made a lot of promises to God that I did not fulfill, and I made a lot of promises to myself that I did not fulfill. And I feel like God is not a game.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right? Not yet. Todavía hay tiempo. You're not 6 feet under yet. So.
Yeah. My family is everything to me.
Right.
I mean, Emmanuel is everything to me. My kids are everything to me.
Manny has a way, dude. Manny has a way of growing up on you.
He's okay. Now you made this like so emotional, but I'm just gonna
My
say
bad,
how.
dude.
No, this is again. This is what I'm talking about. This isn't pre. This is just what it is. He's this person that will make you see life different. I'll just say it like that. He'll make you think. He'll make you question. He'll make you just want better for yourself. And that's just a person. That isn't even speaking as my partner. That's not even speaking as the father of my children, of our children. That's just speaking of him as a person. And it was always like, I was so used to getting everything like sugar coated. Like, my dad is a wonderful example of a man, a perfect example of a man in my eyes, right? But he wouldn't tell us the way things were. He always worried about our feelings. He always worried about not hurting our feelings.
Right.
He always took care of us in that aspect of like, I'm not gonna hurt my kids, you know? So then I meet this person and he tells me the shit how it is. Sorry my language, but that's how the truth. And it was just like, why? Like, you know, like, but I honestly, I see and I learned so much through this, like through him, to see a lot of things in myself. The number one thing is like, you can't control the world. You can't control everybody. You can't control how people think. You can't control like everything. Mm-hmm. And that was my thing. I wanted to control everything. I wanted to have control. I was so afraid. And now that I look back to everything that I've been through, like I was talking about, you know, feeling like the failure in my house and then being left with the baby, you know, my mom, she's supportive, but we had issues, you know, and then just always feeling in my house like what I'm talking about is just not being good enough, and then feeling like, okay, I played God. Like I went to church when it was convenient for me.
Right.
Talking about, again, what I was saying earlier, it's just because I only went because it was convenient or it was an excuse to get out of the house. But in reality, that's not, my heart wasn't there, you know?
Right.
So then I came to realize, like, you're going to lose everything or you're going to get right with God. You need to figure out where it is, because you're not making him your God. For me, my God was my husband. And I'm being truthful. And everybody that knows me knows that this is true. Because it was always like, oh, Manny, oh, Manny this, oh, Manny that, you know? My kids, yes, they're everything to me, but it was more like, what am I going to do if he's not here? I'm going to be alone again, my kids. Right, I'm going to be left alone with my kids. Right. And that was always like the fear.
Right.
Of, you know? But when I came to realize, like, even if he leaves, like, or if my kids are supposed to leave, like, the person that's always that's always going to be there is God. Yeah. And I'm like, how can I not make him the center of my life? How can I not make him my God? You know? That's how, for me, that moment. And in my first episode, when I talked about this summer was the hardest, it was really realizing that he needed to be the God in my life, and he wasn't. Everything else was my husband, my kids, bills. They were just our financial situation. That was what my focus was, but it wasn't him. Drinking, just after I lost my dad, I really felt like, God, I lost one of the most important things in my life, like all this stuff. And I feel like this summer, that's going back to the original reason that that was for me, is doubting, was I ever good enough? And I see now that that's been something that I've carried on from being left, from feeling like I was left alone. I was left to do it by myself. But I really never was by myself. That's just the way that I saw the life was. And it was always like, you know, they talk about idolatry and how anything that you idolize, that whether it not just necessarily like these santos and stuff can be idols. Idols
for sure.
Can be, you can idolize your husband, you can idolize your wife, you can idolize your children, you can idolize money, you can idolize all these things that you put before him. You are. And I realized that that's what I had been doing my whole life. It's just because of being afraid and being so scared, like. So that was It
was a good gut check, huh?
That made my stomach burn a little bit.
Well, you know, it's one of those things, Erika, where when you're thinking about it, it's like you know, in your mind, it's like, not again. Yeah. Like, here we go, right? And it's tough because now it's not just one kid. Now it's 3 kids.
Exactly.
And and I mean, Maddie's not the type of dude that's going to be like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm gone. No more
No,
responsibility.
absolutely not. No.
And I told him this too. Like one thing, because he's considerably younger than me, but something that I always admired about him, that I respected about him as a man, was the fact that he was very family oriented.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he would always make time to be like, oh, bro, I can't, bro.
No.
We're gonna do this with the
Yep.
fam bam, or my parents or this, and I always loved that about him. So it's always been one of those things, and I sorry to have made it so heavy.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
because this
but you know what though? At the end of the day, like you persevered, right? Like you stayed the course. You kind of had to eat the humble pie a little bit, and it's crazy because God allows it to happen.
yes, he
Right?
does.
Like He watches us go down this path where we keep the yoke on ourselves instead of letting Him take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He says that His yoke is easy, right, to bear. He's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But we tend to internalize everything, and we try to do it by our own means, and then we get into situations where, like you were saying, like you kind of mess things up because of an errored way of a flawed way of thinking.
Yeah, thinking.
You
That's
know?
exactly what it is, and it really, I mean, nobody's relationship is perfect, and everybody can say that. And if they say their relationship is perfect, then it's BS, because that's not true. We
Yeah,
all
for
go
sure.
through different trials in our marriages and different errors. But I feel like we've been together for 12 years. Almost, Eileen was 5. She's 17 now. Almost, yeah, like 11, 12 years. And in those, we've had the best years, we've had the worst, we've had a little bit of everything. But I feel like right now in our life, we've came to realize, like, first of all, I'm not going nowhere. You're not going anywhere. Okay, that's just not gonna happen.
Let's get that
let's
straight.
just get that out right now. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
We're not doing this, all right?
Yes, we're not. And we love each other. We love each other, and we have something to fight for.
I can say this,
You know?
because I've been around you guys for
A long time.
A long time, from the beginning, right? Well, not from the beginning, because you guys knew each other in school and whatnot, but from when you guys kind of started,
You really have.
And I've seen you guys get into it. I've seen the way you guys get at each other sometimes, like especially like in front of people.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
Damn,
dudes
these
are crazy.
people.
And then sometimes it's kind of like as an older person, like I'm like, I want to tell Manny, like, but I understand at the same time, and I'm not excusing any kind of behavior, right? But it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, they're young, dude. Like,
They're gonna
they're
learn.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna, because both of you guys are very reasonable people.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I think so.
you're not like beyond like one being humble, right? Being able to reflect on what went down and actually like swallowing your pride.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
which
'Cause
is so hard.
That's a big thing.
It's
you
so
know?
hard sometimes to do.
That's a big thing, man. That's such a big
because
thing.
it's like I'm right, or and technically, I guarantee there's both rights and there's both wrong on both sides. Like I'm sure he was right, I was right, and then we're both wrong.
Yeah.
And just like any argument that most.
Because it's always perspective.
Exactly.
It's always perspective, and perspective's always gonna get you. Because if I perceive it one way, and I'm like, no, dude, Erica, la metiste la pata, bro. Like, no matter what you do, like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, you can be like, I was justified. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, nah. And you're like, see, like, so it's one of those things, where, but I mean, all these years now, and for him to come in and step up the way that he has,
Yes.
I remember having conversations when you got pregnant with Andrea.
Manny said he was never having kids.
Oh,
okay,
man,
he
like,
came with a +1.
I had a lot of conversations with Manny, right? Like Manny, like, not for nothing, but like I'm cool with his pops, his uncles. His mom's más reservada, you know what I'm saying? But siempre con respeto con la señora. But he's like my little brother, man. You know what I'm saying? And I spend probably more time with him, throughout this last years than I have with my blood brothers. Mm-hmm. So we've shared a lot with each other and things like that. And it's been like it was actually like a breath of fresh air when I met him because like him we're like family oriented. But as things go, people move away.
Yeah,
and
you see
things.
start to
You know,
see things different.
Yeah. So meeting him, and I remember like when I first met Manny, like it was at like a random gig. I don't even remember how it happened. Actually, no, it was at a studio. They were rehearsing. He was with this band that he was playing with, and my buddy Jay. Le mandó un saludo a Jay.
Hi, Jay.
He goes, hey man, let's go over here. These guys are they're practicing over there. I'm like, all right. So vamos, and he was playing the accordion. He was singing, and then they were singing a song, and they're like, hey, échale segunda. So I started singing with Manny, and then Manny was like, he would say things, and then like the people that were in the band, like all good people, super cool, right? Los muchachos Contreras, man, they're awesome folks. But their sense of humor is different too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think I don't have you guys a sense of humor because even to the day, like I don't get half the jokes that.
So and a lot of it is just like we recall movies a lot. You know what I'm saying? So he would say something, and then I'd start busting up, and then everybody would just be like
this, probably like.
Or they would say something and they're laughing, and I'm looking at Manny like.
And you guys are probably like, why aren't they laughing?
Like, that's not even funny. But
yeah.
It was one of those things, and I remember we exchanged numbers, and then like some time after that, like I hit him up. I called him. I'm like, I gotta reach out to this dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's up, dude? Que se otro? And his line was like, what's up, way? Always, what's up, way? Like that was always his thing.
Till the day.
Hey, it was either that or "Can Smokey." That was his word back in the day. So I remember just reaching out to him, and then just started making it a point to like develop a friendship, develop a relationship from not just being like, okay, man, I'm gonna sit in, I'm gonna play percussions and do this, like actually like developing a relationship. And I just saw something in a man that was like one of those things, and man,
you've seen the growth.
It was just a super like. It's one of those types of relationships, man, where you're like you're super grateful that you have it.
I know.
When you get it.
And let me tell you, Manny feels the same way about you.
Like I got a lot of love for Manny, and he, I mean, dicho mis verdades, like it's not like his, you know, we're beyond being like whatever. He's younger than me, but we're human, right?
Yeah.
And likewise, you know, hey, esto que el otro, you know, whatever. So, and I mean, he has plenty of cousins, and you know, he doesn't, you know, he's got a younger brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different because that age gap is pretty big. But Luisito's cool too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Cool
of course, we
but
love Luisito.
I tell you what, though, he had to like when he got recruited to come play for La Justicia, like he had to like talk about echándole ganas.
Echarle ganas,
because
babe.
it wasn't so much like that he wasn't able. It was just he was used to playing at a certain level. Mm-hmm. Our band, like I was very fortunate at the time that the people that were still there in that cuadro, my rhythm section was like super good, like very good. So we kind of brought him on. And he was just like, oh man, like he felt the difference right away. But now it's like, okay, then we're gonna go play this club. And it was like, oh man, like, you know. So and then the thing is, he had to become, like, he learned how to be a frontman, not with us,
That's
right?
crazy.
He learned that when he played with Sindicato because nobody else was gonna get on the microphone. He was singing, él tenía que animar, and so when he came with us, like you can see, but you saw the progression, right? And then we played not just the typical like Mexican gigs, right? Like, but we would do stuff with like Tejano like festivals and like Tejano like gigs where it's even though we were playing the same stuff we were playing, but like the atmosphere is very different, right? So like him having to like adjust but he never was like he never gave any kind of hint of like I can't do this, dude. Like
oh no,
you know?
that's not Manny though. You'll
but
never.
he would come to the house. we would.
You'll never hear "I can't" out of his mouth. Like
Oh.
that, just those words don't exist in his vocabulary.
I'll tell you one thing. Like the other day, I was talking to him because I was like, dude, I need to get the brakes on my Harley, man. And he's like, dude, they're easy, way. And I'm like, dude, I've never done them. I've never, para los carros, I'll change your battery, man, and some like light bulbs or whatever. But he's like, bro, YouTube that stuff, man. Like, and he's like, everything's on there. So I was like, I don't know, man. I'd rather just pay $100.
Somebody to do
whatever.
it for me.
And then my buddy he works a lot, so he just wasn't available. And I was like, dude, I'm running around like this, dude. Like, is this gonna get pretty bad if I let it get there,
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, dude? And then he popped into my head. He goes, man, look that ish up and you. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, man. So I'm like, you know what? I already had the parts. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. So I would. Took them off. I was all documenting on Instagram and things. I tagged them and stuff. Got them done though. Yeah. But it was scary. I was just telling him a little bit ago that I had to bleed out the front brakes, so they weren't no estaban agarrando, right? So I had to drive. I park on a bit of a slope, right? On the carport, you've seen it. So I park underneath there, so it's downhill there. And my typical thing is put the bike in neutral, turn it on, I get on, and then I'm playing with the front brake as I'm coming back so I can turn. But it was like muscle memory. I get on the bike, y que se me viene. And it was just like, because that bike is heavy, it's like 1,000 pounds. And it just came, dude, and I was like, oh man,
gosh.
I'm like trying to hit it, and I'm kind of like freaking out. As I'm trying to make the turn, I'm like hitting the brake, y casi se me viene la bike, like I almost fell over. So I'm like, I caught it, kind of brought it back up. I sat down, I was like, dude. And so I had to go get like brake fluid. Yeah, see me free. He's like, dude, you went there with no front brakes. So I was like, dude, just the downshifting and the back brake, man. I was like, you gotta,
yeah.
It was because we were just kind of having to laugh about it,
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like with him, it's I can honestly say like he has pushed me to grow so much in so many ways, and I'm all forever like that's something that I can always say because he's always like, you just do it. Why not? Why can't you do it? Go for it. Like, do it,
Yeah.
It was never like, well, if you don't want to, then no. It was always like, go, do it, Or why do you think like that? Or why is that, And it just would always get my mind, like, thinking. And so we both have, I pray have helped each other a
For
lot.
sure. Did you do any sports ever?
No.
No? Nothing?
I only started sports again because Manny
Because all of a sudden you're playing soccer and softball.
No, and I suck at everything. I'm not okay. Every sport I've tried, I've seriously suck.
Right.
But I do it because we're already out there. Why not? Like, why not try? Softball though. I truthfully, really do love it. I really do. I suck, but I love to go out there and have fun or whatever. Soccer, I already quit, guys. I only played like 3 games.
Yes.
Well, because
that's not a shot de ganas, dude.
no,
What the heck,
I know. It's que I couldn't take the heat. I couldn't take it. The girls are so mean, and I couldn't take it. It's a me problem. It's not them.
So they were bullying you a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't for me. And I had never played. No, well, actually, you know what I did? I played, I think, like 1 game or 1 game 2, like when I was, I think, I don't know, a little out of high school. And same thing, like that game, everybody was making fun of me. So then I was like, I'm never gonna, that's it. Like, I'm never gonna play, And then the girls signed up. Manny started signing up, and my cousin's like, let's play. It's just a mom team. Like, it's just moms getting together. I was like, okay, let's do it. The first few games were cool, but then after that, like, I was like, no, this isn't. I almost broke my ankle, and like, I don't know
That's
what.
crazy.
But yeah, so.
And everybody's making fun.
And everybody's making fun of me.
You know what's funny? It's funny because this is also like, I remember the first time I ever played live, like with a band, right? Not que no fuera la escuela, right? Like just not the school band, just a straight up band. And it was a bunch of brothers from the church or whatever. We weren't even living in Salinas anymore. We were already in the Central Valley, like deep into the Central Valley, and we went back for a wedding. and these brothers always played like almost, but they were really good. Like they were like former pros. Some of them were former pros, and they just didn't play no more, and they were just about church, whatever. And I was already playing the keys a little bit, and had started practicing with a band up in the area that I was at. Like again, también Jehovah's Witness or whatever. And I remember I had learned La Cumbia del Sol, the original one from Los Caminantes or whatever. So I would practice that thing like forward and back. Like I knew it, like I just knew it, like the back of my hand, right? So we go to this thing, and again, you know, the conversation comes like, oh, that he plays or whatever. So like, oh, que se mete un palomazo, you know what I mean? So my dad, at first, because these are all my dad's friends, you know what I'm saying? So they remember me as being a little mocoso, you know? So it's like, they were like, oh yeah, it's like a lot, and they're asking me questions. I'm like, and I'm talking with them. And then, this wasn't like a small wedding, Erika. Like there was like 800 people there.
Oh my
gosh. A lot of people at this wedding.
Wow.
It was at a college. Like it was a group of people. And my dad at the beginning was like, no, sí, que, you know, que se mete palomazo, whatever. But then when it came down to it, my dad was like so freaking nervous, dude. Like he's looking at me like, si la riegas, si vas a ver, vas a ver ahorita.
Si me dejas en vergüenza.
So, and the thing was, the guys didn't know the song. They didn't play it. So I remember writing the lyrics down for them. I kind of wrote out the instructions like, okay, this is how I'm going to start, blah, blah, blah. And we started playing, boom. And it was like, and the thing was, it wasn't so much like, okay, I'm going to play a song and get up there and play, and then that's it. Dude, because we lived there, people knew us, like, they did this whole freaking introduction, dude.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know when I was in the play. So I was like on the other side, dude, like, oh, okay, it's like, you know, coming to the stage, it's like, all right,
like,
and then everybody's like, boom, and my dad's like, he's looking around, and I can just see, like, his face was hot, like, it was red. And my dad, you've seen my dad, dude. My dad's dark complexion, you know? So, but I waited, and everybody's just kind of watching. I get on stage, and they already have the keyboard sound that I wanted, and yeah, me quité el saco, you know what I mean? Like, all right, let me get ready, you know what I'm saying? And whatchamacallit, started playing the song, and then like it was like maybe 1 or 2 bars in, like when everybody came in, the freaking dance just got big, man. Like just everybody and their mom was dancing, like everybody. And I don't know if it was so much because a lot of the people knew us, or it just said that
music was good.
But estaba entrenada la canción. Like it was like big time. And I'm looking at my dad, dude, like de reojo, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing, and I'm like, oh, dude. So he's making me like, I'm even more nerve-wracking, you know? And my brother Damien was looking at me like, you better not mess up, dude. Yeah, like I was like, oh man. And luckily, like, because I practiced the song so much, like at the time, like there was like a little solo in there, whatever, and I kind of fumbled some notes, but I recovered, right? I kind of ad-libbed a little bit, and I recovered, and then boom, se acabó la canción, okay, tan tan, and everybody, standing ovation, whatever. And my dad, dude, no lo calentaba ni el sol, dude. Like it was just like, it was over, and my dad was like, he was sweating, gosh. Like he was like so much like. And then he told me, like, if you were to, like, y me dijo, si la ibas a cagar, like,
aquí te ibas a quedar.
De ahí arriba te iba a agarrar a cintarazos de arriba. Like, oh, man. It was crazy, man. So, but, you know, like, to that, like, sometimes, like, the old Mexican way, let's say, is aprendes a cintarazos en veces, you know, a golpes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that fear of like, of like the repercussion.
I'm gonna get my butt kicked.
Yeah, dude, like tienes que echar ganas. Like either way, like you're gonna have to do it. Especially if they're paying money. Dude, can you imagine? Like that's crazy, man. That's super crazy. But
yeah, everybody has that story, you know, we all, and it's, I feel like todos estamos echándole ganas one way or another.
Did you ever do anything that was like, like your family would have never expected? Something that you took up, maybe softball, whatever it is. It's just something that you might have taken up that people were like, dude, what the? And then you've
This?
actually, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So this is big though.
This?
This is big. Because I remember where we were at, what we were doing. We were playing at Antro Temecula. And it just happened to be, we were in between sets. So,
I know why. Because I had my hair like Selena, and
Yeah.
you told me, oh, you look like Selena. And then I was like, oh, really? And then you were like, and then, yeah.
So, back in that time, there was a young lady from North County that was doing like, estaba haciendo sus pininos también. And she actually interviewed the band and you know, they did like this whole video or whatever. But she never had like the, ¿cómo te diré? Like her people skills weren't like, she had to work at it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't so like, roll off the tongue. And you don't have that problem.
No,
like,
I can.
You te agarras, man, you just, like, you know, yo, tú hablas con la pared sola.
Yeah,
like, it's
like,
one of those things.
And that's what I was saying. Like I was like, to me, talking, it's not a difficult thing. I'm very outgoing. I'm very social. Platicar con la gente y todo, it comes easy. Pero when you're in the setting, it's a little bit.
It's daunting. I remember when we were doing it, and I remember, and I'm pretty sure he'll remember too, Manny. We were doing this contest, right? Like, so if you were at our gigs, you took a picture with us, and then you posted it on your socials and tagged us, you know, we were gonna pick a random winner to get the 2 free hours of music or whatever.
Yeah.
So as we were kind of doing it, like there'd be times where I would have to sit and like promote the next show or something. If we weren't doing it all together as a band, and I'd be sitting there like staring at my phone, and like, oh, dude.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it is nerve-wracking. It's very, very nerve-wracking, man. But and it would be like, I don't know how many takes it took you to get that first one out. But I can just tell you that
laughing because he knows.
From Mars, like for the ones that I did by myself, like empezando, like once you already kind of got it, like it rolls off a little bit easier. But even when we would do them together as a band, like we would start laughing.
And I bet you guys would just laugh at each other, like, look at him, he looks stupid, or he looks funny, or whatever.
You know, so it was one of those things, man. Like, but it was
it's nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's definitely nerve-wracking.
Honestly, Abel, in my life, I have never done anything that surprised my family like that, like this. Never. No sport, no, nothing.
Right.
It was always about Eileen and my family.
Right.
You know? And even before I had Eileen as a, teenager, child, whatever, I never played sports or anything because it was, my brother was always playing sports. So he was always given the opportunity. But even if they told me, do you want to, I did want to do cheer. I did. I remember I did say I wanted to do cheer. But surprising, something that was out of, like, for me, this is the most surprising thing. I think everybody's probably like, what is she thinking? But I'm telling you, when everything was happening and I was just praying, you know, and I asked God, like, use me in some way to encourage. I didn't think like this, though. I thought like I could just talk to you and tell you, like, hey, échale ganas or whatnot, you know, keep going. But then, like, this just was in my head, and I was like, and then I remember what you told me, and I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna do it. And I remember going to Manny, and I was telling him, hey, what do you think? Hey, babe, what do you think if I start a podcast? And he just looked at me. He's like, nothing, go for it. And I was like, I wanted him to be like, what are you thinking? Are you crazy?
Talk me out of it right now.
Yeah, or like my sister, my family, like when I was telling them, they're like I said earlier, they were just like, oh, that's cool. And what is it about? Like, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to talk about? And I was like, life, God, struggles, but real life stuff, you know.
I think that and like when I shared your first thing, and I said, I feel like you're gonna be doing big things with this podcast. Like
really?
I think that well, you have the personality for it, in my opinion. Right, this is my opinion. But if you execute correctly, right, you do the right things, like there's no reason for it to not be successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, además es cuestión de como decimos in boxing, hey, bite down on your mouthpiece, man, and come back up with your hands up and your chin down. and you gotta answer the bell. Like you gotta do the reps. Like you gotta come out. You gotta record. Like don't. I think that I don't know if you already have like a schedule that you're gonna be doing or anything like that, but like whatever it is that you decide to do, like stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, as best you can.
Be consistent.
Yeah, even short or small episode, whatever. Like just
yeah, and
do
that's one thing I do want to do is like I want to start like making little clips throughout the week, not just wait because typically like we've been recording Friday nights, but it's because oh wait, Manny goes to practice, and then the girls I put them to bed y es cuando me da chance because you know otherwise it's a little hard with them, but yeah, I really do. I think I'm gonna start doing that, like little clips here and there during the week, or if like something comes up, or if I had, you know, a moment where I'm like, I want to share this because I have those moments a lot working in a high school with teenage kids. A lot. I come home and I just drop everything on everybody here, and I'm like, you guys are not gonna guess what I went through today. You guys are not gonna guess what happened at work today. Like,
I can just imagine, dude, how different it is now from when we were in school.
Oh my gosh.
With everything that's going on these days, man, it's crazy. Man.
I'm telling you, like I didn't go through like crazy stuff. Like, okay, being a teen mom, that was probably back then more crazy than it is looked upon now. Now it's kind of like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna have it or not? Like,
you
literally.
could have been on Teen Mom, dude.
I could have
been making
literally
millions already.
that freaking show came out. That I would always tell my sister, I could have been on Teen Mom, and I could have. Heck no, all those girls salieron.
Yeah.
But anyways, no comment on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's more like, so are you gonna have it or not? What are you gonna do? Like, they don't even ask about like your home situation. They don't ask about your financial situation. They just say, you're gonna have it or not? Like, that's pretty much what it is now. And it's just a different.
I think that the state of the world right now, man, it's
crazy.
It's crazy, and
so
it's
crazy.
in more than ever. And this is biblical, man. Like, you know, like this is nothing new. Like, it's only gonna get worse.
Yep.
Right. All the more reason to, and no pun intended, but echarle ganas, right? But do it with having Him in mind.
Having God in mind. Yes.
Yeah, like it's gonna be one of those things, man, where at some point or another, and I think that you're seeing it now, where there's like revival happening.
There really is
throughout the country. That's the crazy thing, because when you see the stuff that's going on right now, like.
I've been talking to Manny about this. Like, we come home and we have like really good conversations. We sit in the kitchen. I'm cooking, and we're going at it with, you know, certain topics and conversations. And that's another thing that I want to say. Like, so this summer was what? Last day of school was, I think it was like June 16th, June 15th. From then to now, which is almost October. Okay, that's what, 3-4 months almost? Let's just say June to September. My hardest time, I'll say my hardest times, everything I've struggled with. But in these months, I've seen God move more than I have in all these years that I've said I've known God. And there's something different. I don't know what it is, but even in my home with Manny, like the way he talks, what he's been expressing, his thoughts, the girls, like they're like, are we gonna go to church? Are we gonna go to church, Mom? Like, I don't know what it is, but something is happening in the world, something different. And I'm just like, there's no way like we could step away now. Like, there's something else.
All the more reason to double down now, especially because now your girls are at an age now where they're very impressionable. You know what I mean? So you gotta set the example. You gotta set the tone. That's the hard part, right?
It is very hard.
It's not easy.
That
easy at all.
That is the hardest part. I think that we want the best for our kids. We want our kids to have better than what we had. And I think that's ultimately like, we want their future to be better and for us to be better parents than what we had. And that's just to say the least. Like, the world is going to be the world. They're going to treat them, right? But we want to make sure that they know, like, God's got me, my dad's got me, my mom's got me. If everything else, they're there. And I that's my main focus right now, I think, is just It's not perfect, pero le estamos echando ganas. Our household, my family, it's not perfect, but le estamos echando ganas, and we know what we want for our kids. We know what we want for each other, and you gotta be a team.
For sure.
You gotta be a team.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful, able to honestly to have you here, to see this reality like so many years later.
Seriously, dude.
To just be here on the to be here right now with you is pretty amazing. To, I always think about where like I don't know the verse by memory, but where he says like he has plans for us that we can't even imagine. Something like this is what comes to my mind right now. Like that's what's coming to my mind. Like I would never imagine doing like even this right now. Like if somebody was gonna tell me it's gonna come true, like vas a tener, I'd be like, yeah, right. Like, that's not gonna happen. But like here we are, and
it's a testament to not let, even though you weren't pursuing it at the time, right, back then, but like it's a testament that it never went away.
No.
Right, it never went away. Same thing with like for instance with me, with like the whole like,
yes, well, you're
with everything, right?
Everything.
With church, with the music, with the boxing was out of left field. My parents, my dad never did it. Like it was something that was not on the radar. And then for me to take it from the garage, right, to have our quote unquote sauna sessions, to being able to travel all over the world and work with a lot of fighters and they come out in documentaries and interviews and all this stuff, right? Like, but it was never about listening to the naysayer, right? Like it was always about like, okay, I'm in it right now. I'm in it right now. I can't like throw in the towel when stuff kind of gets unfavorable, right? Because I don't want to say tough, because it's the
and
fight
it can
game.
be,
right? Yeah, for sure.
It can be tough for sure.
But even with the ups and the downs, man, like it was just like, okay, and at some point or another, somebody's gonna be like, hey, can you do this, or whatever, and it's a testament, because I hadn't coached in like, I think the last person that I coached like seriously was in 2015, and that was my last like big hoorah with the UFC, and went to the Philippines and all that, came back, got the win over there, everything was awesome, but then that's it, and there would be like a random mid session here, a random mid session there. Fast forward now, a kid that I trained when he was 19 going on 20, he's 36 now, and he hits me up, hey Abelito, like,
let's do
I'm
this.
gonna do this, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go to Thailand, and I'm like, okay. And that turned from like just a couple workouts to like, okay, we're back in it now. We're coaching, but along the lines, you meet people, or people come back into your life that you probably have met, that you probably had an effect on them, and a positive impact on them that you don't even realize.
That's so rewarding,
But if it had not been for you, for anybody, right, to like not echarle ganas, right, and just kind of endure through those tougher times.
Your blessings on the other side.
Exactly. You take them for granted, because
See?
you see them in other people, right? You see them in how they come about in people's lives. Like I don't know if you guys remember Kevin. We call him Kung Fu Pandas. He's one of my, again, a kid that I met when he was 16. I was training him. I just went to his wedding in Idaho, and then we had like conversation, and he's telling me like, dude, like, because he's only child, right? So similar type of thing where like he looked at me like an older brother. Like I was there for all his milestones. Like it's a trip, but at the same time, it's like I taught him just as much as he taught me.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And he's one of those kids too that like this whole echarle ganas like kind of fits him perfectly, because he was durable, and I don't say that lightly. When I mean durable, like he would get his butt kicked by some of these like pros, like heavyweights.
Pero nunca se rendió.
Nunca se rajó, man. Lo llamaban en sangre. I remember beating him up, man. Like, and he got good.
Yeah.
He got good. He did his thing, and now he doesn't train anymore. Now he's doing other things and stuff, and it's a lot harder for him to do it now, but as life goes, you know what I'm saying? You know, and he doesn't have kids. He's got dogs. Him and his wife. So it's, but I'm sure they're gonna come at some point.
Responsibility too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But it's gonna be one of those things. But man, this is actually, I'm excited for you. Honestly, this was a long time coming.
Yeah.
From Antro Temecula, of all places. We're a clubbing. Like, what the heck, man?
I was saying, I was like, I don't remember what is the situation, but now that like where we were and stuff, but now that you mentioned it, I do remember, and I remember you telling me. I remember what I was like. I remember it. But here we are.
Yeah. And
this is episode 2 from. For the many more to come. There's going to be many more, and we're going to do another one. Another one's pending. We'll get that situated, but
for sure.
Abel, thank you so much for being here.
Most definitely.
I appreciate you. Love you. We love you. My kids love you, Tío Abel, and we'll keep this going.
Let's get it.
Échale ganas, guys.